And here we are live once again. Good evening, folks. Mobile Giza here with the usual Friday night tech talk. Mobile Giza here. There goes my phone doing what it always does. So, looks like there are two people watching on YouTube right now. And as always, when I'm in charge, I'm broadcasting to YouTube and both of my Facebooks. So you can watch on either one. Pardon me. Of course, the show notes are in the description on YouTube, and I also put them on Facebook if you're watching from there. So you can watch from either one. And the first one in is Miss E. Glad to have you here, Ellie. And somebody else is watching. Not sure who that is. So Missy is the first regular to get in here. And Brian got in right behind her. Okay, so we got Missy and Brian, and he's saying hi. Okay, and here's Eleanor. So all our regulars are all here. She says hola. Eleanor's kind of multilingualistic sometimes. Let's see. Oh, there's Vince. Hey, Vince, glad to have you here. Glad you joined. And I hope everybody has had a good week, and we'll see who else joins. Of course, as always, I don't know if Mike or Will or Ted or Mark may come in later, but I'll try to watch for them and bring them in as soon as they come in. Okay. Here's somebody new. Eberhard Schwinkel. Hope I pronounced it right. Glad to have you here, Eberhard. And everybody saying hello to everybody, of course. So I'm glad you all came in. And this week's stories are going to be a little Pixel 6 heavy in the beginning. But of course, that was the big news of the week. Brian is welcoming Eberhard, which is good. Thank you, Brian. And it's somebody else new. Tran Nguyen Trito. I butchered that really badly. I'm sorry, but I'm very glad to have you here. And Eleanor, of course, is very fluent in German, so she can welcome anybody else who's German very easily. So glad to have some new faces here. Glad to have the regulars here. So as I was saying, this week's stories are going to start off a little Pixel 6 heavy because that was the big news of the week, and then I'll try to get to, as usual, something you may or may not have heard from other sites. Last week, I did report a story on Facebook thinking about changing their name. Well, I guess, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg made it official yesterday, and it's now called Meta, M-E-T-A, Meta. So I guess it's going to be very heavy virtual reality and some AI. And he had a pretty long video kind of showing it off yesterday, but I didn't include that in the stories, but I'll probably include that in next week's stories. And another new face, Ekber Mohammed. Glad to have you here. So this is nice seeing new faces in here. I'm having a good time already. So I guess I haven't shown this anywhere yet, but received this last night when I got home from work. So there's my Pixel 6 Pro. And my cases will not show up. I thought I turned all the phones off. Let me go check. That's this one. It's the Galaxy A52. And I know I turned it off. Let's try it again. Okay, got it muted again. So my cases for the Pixel 6 Pro don't show up until Monday. So with this glass, I'm really nervous. I didn't take it out to work with me today, but I will go out and probably shoot a little video and certainly take some pictures this weekend with it, but I won't feel comfortable taking it to work and going all around with it until my cases come in. I've got some cases coming from Tudia, as they are always so kind to me. And my first super chat of the evening, Prom Proud 925. Thank you very much. And he's saying thank you for the streams. It is my pleasure, believe me. And I'm glad to have all you guys in here. Yeah, Brian said sold out the Google Store website. Well, yeah, that's why I ended up getting the black, because the other two colors were already sold out by the time I got there. But I'm really happy I got it. Oh, and you might have heard a couple of guys already heard complaining about the fingerprint sensor. So let's take a quick touch and see what we get. Let me see. So see, it's working for me, but I do find that it's about 85%. Let's see, it's working for me right now. But I know one of the guys was talking about it yesterday. And the first three times he tried it, it didn't work. But it seems to be working okay for me. It's not as good as the in-screen on the Galaxy S21 Ultra, because that is very, very dependable. And it's not quite as good as on my Z Flip 3, but it's pretty good. And I'd say it's pretty dependable. But of course, I've only had it since last night and didn't use it all day today. At that time, it didn't take. So there we go. So it took me 3 times that time. So I'll be certainly getting very familiar with it, but I wanted to start off tonight's story. And hello, Amogus, glad to have you here. Yeah, I guess the word is spreading. Keep spreading the word, guys. I really appreciate it. As always, as I mentioned to the other guys, the stories are in the description on YouTube, and they are out on Facebook if you're watching from Facebook too, because I broadcast to both live. And I'm going to show you a screen of where my website is, where the stories are. So I'm going to share that. And it's at mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. You click on the very first story, and that'll be tonight's show notes. So I wanted you guys to see that. And the regulars know that I've been having trouble going from putting reader view on when I start the stories, trying to get rid of the ads, but figured that out. I contacted StreamYard, and she said, try updating the reader view. So I just took off the extension, put it back on. That seemed to fix the problem. So we're going to try it right now. I'm going to pull up the first story. I'm going to share the screen. And here we go. So this was from CNET. Pixel 6 Pro review. Google's flagship phone is a proper iPhone rival. So let's put on reader view and see if it doesn't kick me out like it's done for the last 2 weeks. And there we go. We're good to go. So this was written by Andrew Hoyle. And I guess it was from today, or he must have updated it because I pulled this up yesterday. So the Pixel 6 Pro is the best phone Google has ever made, including every feature you want in a flagship 2021 device. The Pixel 6 Pro showcases strong performance, some great software additions, a unique design, and an excellent camera system, which of course we all expected. And it does that while still undercutting its rivals by price. The 6.7-inch base 128 gigabyte model, which is what I have, cost $900, let's say. A sizable chunk less than the 6.1-inch iPhone 13 Pro's $999 price. And even more off the $1,099 Apple wants for the largest 6-inch iPhone 13 Pro Max. So I'm just going past these notes because of reader view. You won't see the pictures there. While last year's Pixel 5 was best seen as a mid-range phone with some higher-end touches, the Pixel 6 Pro is premium all the way. From its glass and metal design to its high-resolution display and its superb triple camera, there's a lot to like here. Then there's the Tensor processor, a chip custom-made by Google for the phone, which provides ample power for all of your daily needs, better security features, 5G connectivity, and a slick Android 12 interface. Battery life is good, certainly above average, but not great, with the iPhone 13 Pro putting in a stronger performance. Oh, and let me get me in the picture for a second here. I wanted to show you a size comparison. So here's this Pixel 6 Pro. Now my S21 Ultra has a case on it, but you can see they're very close in size. And here's the Galaxy A52. I put it next to that. The Pixel 6 Pro is a little bit taller. Hope you can see that. So just wanted to let you guys get some idea of the size. So back to our story. Get me off the screen. Okay. Google's Pixel 6 Pro feels every bit as premium as it looks. Its best Android rival is the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, which I just showed you, which does have some neat camera additions that 10 times zoom for one thing, but it costs more, and the Pixel 6 Pro offers a more user-friendly experience. That's true. The iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max offer superb all-around use, but come at a higher price. And if you're already entrenched in the Android ecosystem, it's likely not worth switching and buying all those apps again. And I've said all year until now that the S21 Ultra for me is the best phone I've ever had all around. So we'll see how the Pixel 6 Pro stands up against it as I start doing some comparisons. Those looking for the best all-around Android experience should absolutely look towards the Pixel 6 Pro. So Pixel 6 Pro, Pixel 6. The step-down $600 Pixel 6 packs the same Tensor processor and lovely Android 12 software for $300 less than the Pro. But there are a few compromises it makes in order to come to that cheaper price. Has a smaller and lower resolution 6.4-inch display that lacks the curving finesse of the Pro. Its battery is smaller. It has an 8 gigabyte rather than 12 gigabytes of RAM, and it lacks the 4 times telephoto zoom lens found on a Pro. Yeah, I'm anxious to try that. So there they are. There's the Pro. There's the Pixel 6. But it's still a great phone that's worth considering. It provides many of the same perks as of the Pixel 6 Pro at a much lower price, especially if you don't care about the top-end performance offered by the flagship. As my colleague Patrick Holland puts it in his review of the phone, for the price, I can't think of a better phone to recommend right now. And I did look at Patrick Holland's review of the Pixel 6, and then I went to this one, and they both really like both phones a lot. I didn't love the look of last year's Pixel 5. The matte rubberized back gave the phone a more budget feel than its $700 price tag suggested. The Pixel 6 Pro is worlds apart. The rear is all glass, toughened by Gorilla Glass Victus. And yes, I know it is, but I was still afraid to take it out much until I get my cases. In fact, that curves at the edges to meet the 100% recycled aluminum frame. The glass curves at the edges on the front too, as does the display beneath it, making it not only look more premium, but feel like a truly flagship device when you hold it in your hand. That's true. It's big though, yes it is, packing a 6.7-inch display, which will make it more cumbersome for some than the 6-inch Pixel 5 or 6.4-inch Pixel 6. The glass makes it slippery too. Yes, it is very, very slippery. So consider one of Google's protective cases if you're nervous about dropping it. It's IP68 rated for water resistance, meaning it can withstand being in water 1 meter, about 3 feet, for up to 30 minutes. No, that doesn't mean you can take it swimming, but it does mean you should be able to shake off having the odd beer spilled over it by your clumsy mates. You can tell this guy's British. An interesting design choice is the large camera bar that stretches across the back. I'll show you again as soon as I finish this. It protrudes from the phone by about 3 millimeters, so it doesn't lie totally flat when you put it on the table, but nor does it rock from corner to corner like phones with camera bumps just on one side, like the S21 Ultra. I like the look of the phone, and it certainly stands out. One tip, though. Get the sort of sunny orangey peachy color. Yeah, if I could, I would have, if you can find it in stock. The black and gray option, Stormy Black, looks rather dull by comparison. Well, I guess by comparison, that's true. It's still a beautiful phone. And as Brian said, it's already sold out in the Google store. And that's where I got mine. The rear-mounted fingerprint scanner seen on the Pixel 5 has been removed, replaced instead with an in-screen scanner, which I found worked accurately and quickly most of the time, same as I'm finding. Although Patrick found the Pixel 6 scanner to be much more hit and miss in his review. There is no face unlockability, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, I was disappointed with that. But with masks still being a requirement in many indoor areas due to COVID-19, having a fingerprint scanner is arguably more useful anyway. That big bar on the back hides 3 cameras, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, a 48-megapixel telephoto that offers 4 times optical zoom, and a main camera that uses a larger 1.3-inch sensor, which Google says captures 2.5 times more light than the Pixel 5. The cameras on the Pixel phones have always been excellent, and this new generation is no different. Images from the main camera lens are stunning. They're vibrant, they're packed with detail, and there's an amazing balance of exposure, with bright skies kept under control and shadow areas being easily visible. And you can see all that is true just looking at this picture. You can see the shadowy areas here and here. That's a pretty beautiful picture. Main camera. This is from the main camera Pixel 6 Pro. You can see the people back here, even the everything shows up beautifully. The golden colors of the leaves have been captured beautifully here with a rich blue sky visible behind. Yep. And here's the same image taken on the iPhone 13 Pro. That's this one. There's little to choose between them, but if I was being hypercritical, I'd say that the white balance on the Pixel 6 Pro has resulted in a warmer, more orange tone on the tree trunk, which I think looks better. So let's take another look. Here's the Pixel 6 Pro right here. And here's the iPhone 13 Pro. So, boy, they're close, that's for sure. You can see how the Pixel 6 Pro's camera really stacks up against the iPhone 13 Pros in my photography shootout. So here's some more pictures. So this thing, looking towards the beautiful Edinburgh Castle, is a challenging shot with dark shadows and an extremely bright sky beyond the trees. So there's the castle. You can see the very bright sky up here. Beautiful picture. Let's see, does he have the iPhone? No, he doesn't have the iPhone 13. So here's another one, Pixel 6 Pro main camera. Pretty stunning stuff, I'd say. And much the same here with vivid blue skies, superb exposure, and plenty of detail. Here's the ultra wide. Okay, another ultra wide here. Boy, that's a beautiful shot. Another ultra wide. But check out the iPhone 13 Pros. Okay, so iPhone 13 ultra wide, Pixel 6 Pro ultra wide. Boy, there's little to choose from between them. I'll say that. I'm looking at the shadows over here. Yeah, not quite as shadowy over here. So the iPhone offers a much wider view that lets you capture more in the scene. They're both excellent wide lenses and both do a great job at packing in those beautiful colors, but I'd like to have seen the Pixel offering a slightly wider scene. So the iPhone gets that for the wide camera. The 4x zoom lens is amazing too, providing tons of detail thanks to its high resolution sensor. I think that 4x is a great zoom level for a phone as well. It allows you to find compositions that would be beyond the reach of lesser zoom levels, but it's not quite as restrictive as the 10x zoom you'll find on the S21. And yes, with the S21 Ultra, when you go to 10x, sometimes it gets not so pleasant grainy. It's a zoom level I feel I'd use a lot of my travels and have already taken a few 4x shots with the phone, and I'm really pleased with as artistic images. There's a nice shot. And he makes the point that he can actually read that headline here. So that's the 4x zoom. There's another one. Beautiful shot. Look at the clarity and the detail. Look at the shadows. That's pretty awesome, I think. Okay, so I'm not going to read every word. Here's a nightscape photo. Okay, that's the Google Tensor processor make a difference. At the heart of the phone is Google's first homemade baked processor named Tensor. It's a significant move for Google to produce its own silicon, and it shows a strong commitment to remain in the hardware game. After all, you don't go to the effort of developing your own processors as a one-off experiment. But it's essentially irrelevant once you get the Pixel in your hand, as it functions just like any other phone. It's nippy to navigate around the Android 12 interface. Games like Asphalt 9, which I haven't played on that yet. That's pretty much the only game I play. Legends and Call of Duty play perfectly, while photo editing and video streaming are handled exactly as well as you'd get from any other top-end phone right now. Benchmark tests like the Geekbench 5 processor test and 3D Mark's Wildlife Extreme graphics tests. Pixel 6 Pro doesn't score quite as highly as the iPhone 13 Pro, but it's up there with the Galaxy S21 Ultra, and it edged out the powerful OnePlus 9 Pro on the graphics test too. Benchmarks are by no means a direct indicator in real-life performance, but it's good at least to see that Google's new silicon is operating in the same ballpark as its rivals. And I have seen a couple of other reviews, and yes, the iPhone and a couple of others score higher, but in the reviews I've seen, the presenters still preferred the Pixel 6 Pro. Let's see. So I'm not going to read all of this all the way down here. Okay. Android 12, which I have also on my Pixel 5a. The Android 12 interface is extremely neat and easy to use. It's my favorite version of Android so far, mine too, offering an uncomplicated experience that even Android novices won't take long to get grips with. One of the bigger features that's for now exclusive to the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro is the ability to create custom themes for the phone based on whatever image you have as your background. And I had the 12 beta on my Pixel 4a, so I've already gotten used to it. But yes, it's my favorite so far too. When you choose a new wallpaper, either one of the many built-ins or any of your own images saved to your phone, the phone would automatically pick out the dominant color and will use that and its complementary colors to change the look of parts of the interface, including some of the default Google app icons on the home screen, such as the Play Store, Gmail, and Photo. It's a nice idea, although it probably shouldn't be the main reason you decide, but it is fun to play with changing the background and watching those colors change. And there's like 4 main colors you can choose from as a base, even when you go into the settings. Security has been given a particular push, both on the software and hardware side. The Tensor processor has a dedicated Titan coprocessor that apparently allows for much better on-device security, while Android 12 offers a more granular control of your security and privacy settings. That includes a dashboard that shows what apps have used and what information recently. That's true. I happened to notice that last night. And handy buttons in the pull-down notification tray that turn off system-wide access to your camera and microphone. Google has also promised that the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro will receive security updates for 5 years, which will mean these phones will be safer to use for longer. Many older phones are still perfectly usable from a hardware standpoint, but if they don't have the latest security patches on board, then they're susceptible to all kinds of hacking nastiness. From both a cost and environmental perspective, being able to use our phones safely for longer is only a good thing. Oh, and I've already seen a couple of articles stating that people are already getting Android 12 side loading it to other phones, and it's working to a degree, maybe not exactly the same as on the Pixels. So anyway, I'm not going to read every bit, but you can see this guy likes this one, and his partner liked the Pixel 6. And I think I'm going to really like this phone. So stop that. Let's get the Pixel 6 Pro back up here again. So as you can see, there's the camera bump he was talking about. As you can see, it's not flat, but when you lay it down flat, yeah, there's no wobble back and forth. And it's a gorgeous phone, that's for sure, even in the boring color that he said it was. So let's see who's saying what over here. Oh, let's see. Who came in while I was talking? All right. And Amogus, oh, thank you so much, sir. Got another super chat. Very much appreciated, and will go towards the channel for sure. Paul Tech is here. Hey, Paul, it's good to see you. I've been seeing you doing a lot of posting or showing people how to do things on the Pixel 6 Pro, so that's cool. If you don't follow Paul Tech, he's very, very good, and he gives you lots of detailed little videos showing you how to do different things. Well worth watching. Let's see who else. And Gary is here. Okay. Hey, Gary. Gary is our resident. Can I say wise guy, Gary? He comes up with the best and most caustic comments usually. And Gary is not a fan of anything Apple, just to warn you. And Alan from Phone Tech at Work is here. Okay, another Jersey guy, except he still lives in Jersey and I don't. Let's see. And he said, what upstream? Oh, that's Alan. Okay. That's just checking all the. And Ted is in here. Of course, he's got the link. He could come into the stream anytime he wants, but he's usually too busy. But glad to see you, Ted. And JKVS World. Glad to have you in here, brother. I'm assuming, brother. Could be lady. How do I know? Okay. Oh, he likes to set up. Yeah, I tend to set up all my phones the same. And let's try that fingerprint sensor again. Let's see. So you can see it's pretty big as I'm holding it with the two hands right now. See, that time it didn't work again. Twice. Okay. There you go. Fourth time. So it can be iffy, I guess. But yeah, my first page on all my phones is always all Google. And then from there, we just go from there. I don't know how much you guys can see. I'm probably not holding it very well either. So anyway, I think I'm going to be in love with this thing, but we'll see how it goes. So that was the review. Okay, I had one about the Tensor chip, but I think I'm going to skip that story. Now, this is just a very quick little article. Let me share the screen. For those of you who get it, this was from Android Central, and I can tell you this is true. Update your Pixel 6 as soon as you receive it to get all the features. And the reason I know that's true is last night I was trying to squeeze, when I first opened it, I could only fit 4. Oh, let me take that screen off for a minute. When I first opened it, I could only fit all 4 icons across it. I wanted to fit 5 so I could get all my usual Google stuff here, and I couldn't figure it out. But I was talking to Miss E, who used to be a help desk person, by the way, and she said, "Have you updated it?" And I said, "No, I totally forgot, even though I've got the article." And as soon as I updated it, well, I had the option to change the icon size. And so the update to get all the features is actually true. So let's pull it back up again. Share screen. Okay. So update to get all the features. The update should be ready for users that pick up the Pixel 6 on release day. So when I first booted it up last night, it didn't do the update automatically. I had to go down and see that there was an update, and I manually installed it, and boom, it worked. So just wanted you to see. Let's go to read a view and get rid of some of these ads. Okay. This is by Derek Lee. Google wants to make sure that you're getting the most out of your brand new Pixel 6. I'll give you the whole screen. So it's pushing out a day 1 update that will be available out of the box, which it was. 9 to 5, Google spotted a community support post detailing the update, which is apparently necessary in order to get all the features. And I can attest to that, although the post doesn't specify exactly what the update brings. According to the post, the update should automatically download once the setup process is complete. Did not happen for me, although it can take up to 15 minutes depending on your connection. Now, mine didn't take that long. That should give you plenty of time to futz around with the device before having to reboot it. If it doesn't automatically, and it tells you how to go, and that's how I went and got it myself manually. The update should bring your Pixel 6 or Pixel 6 Pro to build version SD1A210817.036, and I checked, and that's exactly what I've got. If you're on Verizon, the build number after the update should read blah, 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 blah. So it's going to be Verizon's going to have an A8 at the end, likely due to the extra millimeter wave 5G. That makes sense. For those that have already received their devices, you can check the build number and see if it matches, blah, blah, blah. While it's not clear what features are arriving with this update, our review units have already been updated with the new software, so you'll get the same relative experience as you'll see in the reviews. That includes all the cool AI features and camera enhancements that are powered by the new Google Tensor chip. The post notes that some updates may not arrive until October 28th, which was yesterday, and it did, which is the day Pixels arrive in stores, so there should be little delay. Let's see. The post also note that you should update your key apps, which I did tonight, and I had 50 apps that needed to be updated in the Play Store, many of which have new features and improvements for Pixel 6, which you may not find on any of the best Android phones outside of Google's latest flagships. So yes, until I went and did that manual update myself, the option to change the screen size so I'd get more icons wasn't even there. But as soon as I updated, it was. So that's why I included this article, just to let anybody that picks it up know, go get the update as soon as you get the phone, whether it does it automatically or not. Let's see. Oh, shallow unit. Okay, now I know who you are. Okay. It's a very different name, that's for sure. Okay. And Gary said, as soon as he gets it, as soon as I find the screen protector. Yeah, and I am paranoid about cases. I never, ever use screen protectors, but I'm the odd man out there, and I know that. Don't get the OR0. I don't understand that one. And Gary's asking, is it that bad? And he said, extra step for no reason makes it hard to install. Oh, that's the screen protector. I bought it from them before, no problems, but it's a pass on the 6 Pro. So he's saying do not get the OR0 screen protector. So good to know. Okay. So that's it for the Pixel 6 stuff. I'm sure you guys are maybe getting sick of seeing Pixel 6 and 6 Pro stuff. But I just figured since it was the hot thing this week, I better start with that stuff. And I wanted to show you the phone also. So now we'll move on to stuff you may or may not have seen. And anybody who came late, I already mentioned that last week I had a story about Zuckerberg talking about changing the name of Facebook, and he did officially change it yesterday to Meta, M-E-T-A. And he has a long video out there showing all kinds of AI stuff and what do you call it with the goggles. Anyway, it's out there, and the name is officially now Meta. So let's see. So we want to move on to different stuff. And I don't know if you all heard this, but Amazon is now making its own televisions. So this was I found this on Android Headlines, but there are a bunch of stories on it. Amazon made its first Fire TVs, and you can buy them today. This was from 2 days ago. And that was by Arthur Brown. And let's go put on Reader View to get rid of some of these ads. Okay. Even though Amazon is mainly a software brand and online retailer, it's got a few toes in the hardware department. The company announced its own in-house brands of smart TVs called the Amazon Fire TV Smart TVs. Catchy name aside, these could be an inexpensive foray into the smart TV life. First, there's the Amazon Fire TV Series. Starting off the list is the Fire Tv4 Series. These are the smaller of the two brands and definitely less premium. The three sizes are 43-inch, 50-inch, and 55-inch, so they're about middle ground in terms of size. As for the feature set, you can't really expect this TV to be more than, well, a TV. You can expect good visuals because it's a 4K TV that supports HDR10 and HLG. Sound-wise, the Fire 4 TV series can use Dolby Digital Plus for some punchy sound. I'd be satisfied with that, but I know other people wouldn't. On the higher end of the spectrum, there's the Amazon Fire TV Omni series. If you want a little bit more action for your TV, then you might want to try the Amazon Fire TV Omni series. These are the more premium brands with more features and larger sizes. Comes in the same sizes as the 4 series with the addition of 65 and 75-inch variants. Like the 4 series, the Omni TVs come with 4K panels that are compatible with HDR10 and HLG. However, the Omni TVs also have Dolby Vision for the 65 and 75-inch models. A big addition to that Omni TVs have the 4 series don't is Alexa. While the 4 series can use the Alexa remote, the Fire TV Omni series have Alexa implemented throughout the software, which allows for hands-free navigation. You will be able to use Alexa to find your TV shows and movies and not have to pick up a remote. The prices for these TVs are really good. 4K smart TVs can really cost you an arm and a leg sometimes. That's why I have a TCL. What's fortunate is that the Amazon Fire TVs are priced really competitively. If you're interested in the less premium 4 series TVs, they start at just $370 for the 43 and $470 for the 50-inch and $520 for the 55-inch. If you can't live without Alexa interaction and Dolby Vision, the Fire Omni TV start at under $500. Starts at $410 for the 43, and the 75-inch variant will run you $1,100. Well, with these TVs, you will have the Amazon Fire TV software installed, which will give you access to thousands of apps for streaming content. You'll be able to watch content from Netflix, Disney Plus, Tubi, Peacock, IMDb TV. I didn't even know there was an IMDb TV, YouTube, and the list goes on. What's neat is that if you already have a Fire device like a Fire Stick, which I do, all of your apps and content will automatically be downloaded on the Fire TV when you set it up. These are all available to purchase today. And I went and did a quick search, and it looked to me like Amazon had them for sale. And of course, it was just a quick look, but I didn't see them anyplace else. So it may be you have to buy them from Amazon for now. So I just thought it was interesting that they have their own line out now, and I thought you guys may or may not be interested. Gary responding to me saying maybe you guys are sick of it. He says it's never enough pixel news. And Gary being Gary, says Amazon needs to make another phone so I can laugh at it. Well, that certainly happened with the last phone they tried, that's for sure. And good point. Can't make a good phone, but can build a rocket ship. I know. Isn't that weird? Yeah, Miss E remembers that phone. Yeah, my boss, when I was before I retired from Blue Cross programming, my immediate boss, he had one ostensibly for his kid, but he carried that phone all the time, the Amazon Fire phone, and he loved that. He was the only one I knew who loved it, but he absolutely loved that phone. I remember that. And Brian is saying no thanks to Amazon TVs. Yeah, my one 4K that I hear is a TCL that I got at Best Buy, and I had another one in Florida, and Eleanor has one too. And I find the TCL TVs to be really good, and of course a great price. So they're good enough for me. Let's see. Jimmy is saying Amazon TV must accept terms and conditions, video and audio recordings. Okay. Miss E is, Miss E is saying Skynet. And Renz is here. Glad to have you here, brother. And you know you're always forgiven for being late, because I know you're probably at work already if I know you. So yeah, he says he's super busy already, and traffic was so tiresome. Understandable. Anyway, always glad you're here, Renz. That's the main thing. And we've got all the regulars here, or most of the regulars, and we've got a bunch of new folks. So I'm really happy about that. And here's Miss E with your nickname that you loved, Renz a Million. So obviously she's glad you're here too, Renz. That's great. Okay. And now another story you may or may not have seen. I'm not doing phone stories the rest of the way. So, and Ted is the one. When I first got my iPad Pro last year, Ted is the one who turned me on to LumaFusion for the editing. And LumaFusion is a very heavy-duty program that does a great job with editing on an iPad, but they didn't have it for anything else except iOS. Well, 9 to 5 Google. LumaFusion video editor to come to Android, Chrome OS in coming months as development begins. So that probably should excite a bunch of people, because that's a really good editor. All right, so let me turn on Reader View. Okay. While Android has its fair share of solid video editing apps, Chrome OS has to make do with some fairly basic and substandard options. That is set to change as the team behind the excellent iOS and iPad-only LumaFusion has confirmed that development has started on dedicated Android and Chrome OS versions of the app. For those unaware, LumaFusion is the closest experience to Final Cut Pro that is available on iOS devices. And both Ted and I can tell you it's really excellent. It's very heavy duty. It's got a bit of a learning curve, but it's worth it. It's an incredible standalone video editor suite that even outranks Premiere Rush in terms of controls and functions. Unlike many of the basic options already littering the Play Store, I love the way he says that, LumaFusion offers desktop-level controls and support for multiple file formats, that's for sure. The app offers all of this without a monthly subscription fee and can be purchased outright. That's what's awesome about it. You just pay once you're done, making LumaFusion for Android a big deal. I would agree. LumaTouch, the team behind LumaFusion, didn't give a timeline beyond the coming months, but appealed for beta testers on both Android and Chrome OS in a dedicated blog post. Development of LumaFusion on Android and Chrome OS is underway. This is an exciting expansion for LumaTouch. We're looking forward to offering LumaFusion to even more video editors. Details about supported Android and Chrome OS devices, general availability, features, and other details will be made available in the coming months. Being one of the most popular paid apps on iOS, it's surprising to see just how long it has taken LumaTouch to even consider porting LumaFusion to Android. And with Chrome OS crying out for a good native editing suite, it couldn't have come soon enough. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably true. Don't take our word for it. Our colleagues over at 9to5Mac regularly tell us that LumaFusion is the best editing app on iPad and iPhone, and Ted told me the exact same thing. I'm not going to play the video. To apply to be a beta tester for Android or Chrome OS, you can complete this dedicated. So if you go to this link, or you can go to my webpage and click on the story, you can complete the form. Alternatively, LumaTouch has a dedicated mailing list for project updates and information, which is available here. So you just go to this story on, take this off. If you just go to the story on 9to5 Google, you can click on those links, and if you want to become a beta tester, you can. So I think that's pretty exciting for people who like to use LumaFusion, and LumaFusion is very, very popular. Okay. And Missy's excited about it. Cool. So this is the kind of story I come up with that you may or may not have seen. So I try to give you a little bit of a variety. Okay. And speaking of variety, here goes a little bit more. And this story was on Digital Trends. So let me go and share the screen. Back in the day, we were all excited about Moto 360s. And I know that was, 5-6 years ago? So I'm going to share screen. And this is by Digital Trend. This was by Michael Allison. So let's... new affordable Motorola Smartwatch could be coming by the end of the year. Don't know who's going to be excited about that, but I figure somebody's going to be. Review. A new Motorola branded smartwatch is on its way for a launch by the end of the year, according to a press release shared by CE Brands, the current owners of the Motorola brand for smartwatches. I didn't know they own the Motorola smartwatches. The company has claimed to have already completed a work on a Moto Watch 100, branding it an affordable premium smartwatch. It's kind of contradictory, right? Affordable premium, but hopefully that will be going into mass production over the next month. Our newest smartwatch, the Moto Watch 100, which is designed for an entry-level price point, is scheduled to begin mass production in November 2021. With several major retailers in line for initial orders to test the product, we believe the Motorola brand, coupled with an affordable premium-feeling smartwatch, has the potential to be a truly disruptive product. This will not be the first time CE Brands has shared reports of an upcoming smartwatch in investor documents. The company earlier this year shared news of a Moto G smartwatch, a Moto One, and a Moto Watch. One of these is expected to be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 4100, which is much better, I gather, than the 2100 and previous. However, with the Moto Watch 100 have already gone into mass production, it's likely not going to have a chipset ready for a holiday season. Well, I mean, the 4100's been around a while, so I don't see why they couldn't have it in there. There is speculation from 9to5 Google that the Moto Watch 100 is a pre-launch rebrand of the unreleased Moto G smartwatch, a designation that would suit its nature as an entry-level watch. It's likely the chip shortage was a factor that left the device unreleased, for the bulk of the year, even when Samsung suffered as a result. This is also not the end of Motorola Smartwatch releases. 2 more Motorola branded smartwatches are coming by the end of March 2022, and they're expected to be more powerful mid-level watches as opposed to the entry-level Watch 100. These could be the Moto One and Moto Watch, albeit rebranded as Moto Watch 100S and 200 respectively, that was spotted earlier in the year. So I was one of those who was very taken with the Moto C360 back in the day, but I got over it. And now I'm in love with my Samsung and Apple watches. So pretty much stick with those. But for those who are interested, I just thought it'd be an interesting story. And you can go check them out when they come out. Pardon me, like get my throat clear, I hope. Okay. And on to my last story of the day. And I think a lot of developers will be pleased with this one. Share screen. And this again is on digital trends. Google drops developer fees in the Play Store to as low as 10%, again by Michael Allison. Let's go to review. Google today announced new moves to make selling on the Play Store more attractive to developers. Currently, the company charges 30% for all subscription sales, then drops it to 15% after a year. Starting in 2022, developers will now be charged 15% on payments from the first day, while Google also moves to reduce fees for apps registered under the Play Media Experience program to 10%. So I think good news all around for developers. Digital subscriptions have become one of the fastest growing models for developers, but we know that subscription businesses face specific challenges in customer acquisition and retention. We've worked with our partners in dating, fitness, education, and other sectors to understand the nuances of their businesses. Google's Samir Samat, Vice President of Product Management, explained in an announcement. Our current service fee drops from 30% to 15% after 12 months of recurring subscription, but we've heard that customer churn makes it challenging for subscription businesses to benefit from that reduced rate. So we're simplifying things to ensure they can. The new fee structure kicks in January 1st, 2022, and will benefit 99% of developers, Google says. I can see where that would. This means that if you purchase a subscription from the Play Store after that date, Google will only charge a developer 15% of the total payment right from the start. Much better. Google will also make a change to apps and services under the Play Media Experience program. These apps were built with support for cross-platform experiences such as Google TV, Android Auto, Google Wear, and Google Cast in exchange for a reduced fee of 15%. Starting January 1st, 2022, that fee will drop to as low as 10%. Google's new moves come after efforts from developers to challenge the Play Store and Apple App Store's 30% fees as onerous. Yes, it does. The company had made many preemptive moves in this regard, lowering the commission it charged for small businesses earning up to $1 million annually to 15%. It wasn't enough to stop some countries like South Korea from ordering it to open up its Play Store to alternate payment mechanisms, but moves like this will go a long way in quelling further discussion from developers and content providers. I agree. Google cites Bumble and Duolingo as examples of partners who have responded positively to this change. I can see where they would. So I think Google is finally listening after a lot of yelling in the first place, but I think that's really good for the developers. So I'm happy about that. So that's all the stories I had for tonight. Let's see any other comments. Oh, Brian, thank you so much as always, sir. Really appreciate it. You guys are generous tonight. I'm really appreciating it, and I can certainly use it between the Z Flip and the Pixel 6 Pro. I'll take what I can get. So let me share the screen of from my web page. So this is when I'm at the end of the stories. I always leave this last part for open discussion before we go to glowing rectangles. So any of you guys have anything in specific you want to discuss in the comments, this is the time to put them in there. Otherwise, I'll move on to the glowing rectangles. Let's see, last week we went all the way to almost 9:30. The week before it was about 9:15, but it's going to be sooner than that tonight. But that's okay. I'm just happy about everybody that showed up. So I'm going to pull up glowing rectangles. If Ted is still watching, he'd be all over me if I missed that. So I'm going to share my screen once again. So every week we tell you, and especially anybody new, glowing rectangles is on reddit.com /r/glowing rectangles. And it was started by Juan Bagnell, some gadget guy, because he felt there wasn't enough small YouTubers being shown up, and anybody can take any video or any blog post and stick it in glowing rectangles, and then it gets voted up or down depending on what people like for the day. So if you go here, you click top, it's going to show what got the most votes so far today. And that was how to add a digital signature on iOS, iPhone, iPad, simplistically digital. So there's that video. And I think most of the time you're going to see videos here, but occasionally you do get somebody who puts a blog post. But keep in mind, this doesn't have to be yours. It can be anybody you like or anybody you think needs to get a little more exposure. Just go to reddit.r/glowing rectangles and just add the story, and they'll get a little bit of exposure, or you get a little exposure. And the second story that you see is always the ad. So the second most popular story today, or video today, was the cameras are amazing on the Pixel 6 Pro, Trent's Tech. And if Trent says that, that makes me feel good because I'll be checking that out this weekend. So that was the second most popular. You know, it got 4 upvotes on the first one, and he got 4 upvotes. So that basically they're tied. And then he's got the real camera test, which has got the next most votes. So that's what glowing rectangles is all about, for people to get a little more exposure, either videos or blog posts, and anybody can go there and check it out. So just wanted to make sure I showed you guys that, and Ted should be happy that I did. Okay, and Renz, thank you as always, sir. Brian and Renz are like really faithful followers and subscribers, and I'm very grateful to them always. So thank you, Renz. And we are out of stories, and it's 9 o'clock. So we got it all done in an hour. See, Renz is saying, going to be busy tonight, be putting up some Halloween theme in the garage for my youngling and family. Good for you. Yeah, my job at driving for Enterprise, I don't usually work at branches. I usually just deliver cars from one branch to another, one town to another. But today they needed somebody to volunteer for a branch, so I went and did the We're Enterprise, we'll pick you up thing today. And boy, are they going all out trying to win the contest in the division for the best branch of Enterprise. And they in this group, they were dressed up from the whole Wizard of Oz theme. So the only one who really looked the part to me was Dorothy, though. So anyway, I hope everybody who celebrates Halloween goes out and has a great Halloween. And Renz, I'm sure you're going to do a great job for the kid. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Halloween. And as always, I wish you a very blessed and happy weekend. And once it stops raining tomorrow morning, I can get out and get on my bicycle. I usually ride my bicycle. I try to ride it 3 times a week, 17 or 18 miles, but it's been raining for 3 days now. But I did ride it twice already this week. So, and Renda's saying, Rich, I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize, Renda. I'm just always glad you're here and always glad you're so faithful. Happy week. He's saying happy weekend, everyone. And I mimic that. Happy weekend. Have a blessed weekend. And I'm going to end, and we'll see you all next week. And thanks for everybody that came by, especially all the new guys, and for the super chats. Thanks very much, and see you next week.